Hi, Trae. How are you?
Good, good. We always see each other in community. I'm so glad we were able to make this happen because you've been bringing these events to the people for some time now. Just tell us a bit about the beginning of this. What made you say, like, I need to put this kind of event on?
Words and Wine. I created Words and Wine because I felt like we were missing. We were missing a piece of the culture in Seattle. I went to events similar to this, poetry events, or we have a lot of events with music, but it's never two at the same time. So I kind of just wanted to bring that to the city, and just so we can have a good time, but also elevate, give a platform to the artists in Seattle so that we have something to say. A lot of us have something to say, but nowhere to really say it. Yeah. So I wanted to give that opportunity to a lot of the artists.
I love that, because you are so right. Maybe there's always pieces and voids that could be filled. And it takes like people like yourself to step up to the plate because it's not easy to pull these kinds of events together. And it's a lot of hard work, but it also means that you have to have your hands in a lot of different buckets in terms of networking and bringing people that you have relationships with to these platforms. And so that for me is really exciting as we get to explore your kind of network. Tell us a bit about that because you're bringing like different DJs and spoken word artists and poetry and music. Tell us a bit about how you've built kind of that network to really put these kind of events on.
So I want to shout out my community first and foremost. I'm super thankful for everyone. Like you said, it's not easy putting on these events, but I'm grateful for my team. I'm thankful for Jazz for Black Sunflower Co. She's been super helpful, helping me put this event on. All the different DJs are just people that I know in the community. Moni, super willing to always be a part of these events just because the vibe is there. And like I said, we got something to say. So just hearing the different things that people are going through. But as far as my community and networking, I think that's just kind of what I do, just like meeting people, working at Communion. I meet and greet a lot of people all the time working at the door. So it's kind of easy for me to see what I need from people, I guess.
No, well, that really is when you talk about community hubs. I mean, Communion is just immediately was one of those hubs, and I think so many people were looking forward to it, the doors opening, and it being that space in the Central District once again to kind of commune together, literally. And so, your bright face be there, and the great thing that I think I've experienced in terms of events like this is that we needed something that was really gonna not just elevate the culture, but be really specific for a crowd that was looking for something, kind of yearning for something. Yeah. But we talk about this in terms of like when we have more things to look forward to in our community, it also lowers the barriers of like, violence just disrupting through the community. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like people being like, man, there ain't nothing to do. I'm just out here in these streets. But it's like, no, like you can actually get your craft together, come out, experience Words and Wine and showcase your talent to people. How often do you think about those kind of ideas in terms of how you've built this amazing event?
Well, that's great to know that it just will get people off the street and, into something positive. My goal is for people to know that we are listening, people that look like us, we do care about what needs to be said, or things like people talk about all different type of topics. A lot of the poetry events I've been to in the past are kind of one topic based. So we have artists that talk about relationship issues or stuff that's going on in the community or stuff that's going on in the world. So that's great to know that we're impacting the community in a positive way.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? And not just in a positive way, but what a whole vibe.
It's a vibe.
It is literally a vibe. And you know what? I'll be honest. I'm always doing something or gone when these events go on. So I'm really looking forward to this because I've heard nothing but great things about the last two events. Yeah, like no, I've heard nothing but great things. So I'm gonna make sure I'm spending time to move things on the calendar because this right here to me also means that people have to buy into these ideas in order for them to flourish and in order for them to be successful. But you really had no issues with that because people are showing up. How have you been utilizing different tools to get the word out?
grateful to be on this platform first and foremost, but it's just a lot of social media, like a lot of social media people just like, Jazz, what's going on this weekend, Jazz? And I'm like, guys, I'm not a promoter, but anytime I throw an event or say I'm a part of an event, it's just, you know, people pull up. And again, I have these amazing DJs. I have DJ Yachty, who has their own platform. DJ Moni has their own platform. So it's just great to have those people who help cross promote, you know, and all the artists and poets. I don't want to say poets because it's grown past poets. We have singers. We have Jayza, who's an amazing, talented singer. We have Jave. We have, it's just grown. So we have rappers. We have Jay York. We have Ratchet Rose is her stage name, but she's also known as Nene, and she's like one of the dopest artists I've ever seen perform. Like, I literally want to cry after her poetry sets.
Wow, so. Wow. I mean, I got to see a clip of one of the shows, and I tell you, that brother was spitting fire. And yeah. I mean, you know, I get the goosies when I think about, you know, the talent we have here, and it feels like it's untapped. You know what I mean? So that's why I love that an event like yours is really saying, no, we're elevating these artists.
Got something to say.
That's right. That's right. But it also means you got to have the right ideas of where to put these events on in terms of the venue and the space. Tell us a bit about that. How are you finding these venues to make these happen?
Again, Jazz from Black Sunflower Co. She's been super influential with where to have it, just to make sure that the aesthetic is there. The last 3 years, including this year, it's been on the rooftop. So we just want to get the Seattle skyline and, you know, enjoy our city because Seattle is beautiful.
Yeah, so. Absolutely it is. And this right here for me is, it goes almost without saying. It's like we have some of the most amazing rooftop like lounges and what, I mean, honestly, we do. And it shows the whole city skyline, but it's about accessibility, Jazz, right? Like, I think a lot of, you know, of folks that may come to these kind of events, it's like, man, when do I get the opportunity to be up here on this rooftop? And like, how are they going to be accessible to me? I think that's where we see kind of what we were just talking about with Brian. The developers haven't made these spaces that open to a lot of like our community. So shout out to you. And of course, our girl Jazz from Black Sunflower, really coming together to say, let's utilize the network we have to make these spaces accessible to us, make them available to us. And, you know, I'll also say too, that there's kind of an undercurrent here. One of the things that Seattle has been suffering from is when it comes to these kinds of events, a lot of folks started taking their hands off because they're like, oh, violence is set to occur. And it's like, you have been proving all of that strategy wrong by bringing amazing acts together and everybody walking away having a great time. Just tell us a bit about that, because I know that, you know, insurance raises when you say you're going to do hip hop. There's a lot of different things in terms of event creation when it comes to celebrating our culture and music, where a lot of promoters and event venues around here have been like, oh, can't do it.
Yeah. I just think that Words and Wine is filled with love. I think that when you walk in the building, you just feel the love. No matter what your energy was when you got there, it's going to change. So we just try to keep that peace first and foremost, and just keep the peace. I don't know why we've been so blessed to not have any violence, and I pray that it continues that way. But I also just think that it's the vibe. It's the peace that we bring. It's the fact that we're talking about something that's important, and then people just want to eat and have a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, make sure you look right there. How can folks catch up with you and Words and Wine 3? How do they get their tickets? Everything. Let them know.
All right, you guys can follow me on Instagram at Jazz from Seattle and the number 2. You can get the Words and Wine tickets on EventBrite.com. Just search Words and Wine 3.
Oh, there it is. Thank you so much, Jazz, for being here. And there it is. Curtis got the flyer up there, so folks know, come through. It's going to be popping. It's a whole vibe. Thank you for everything you're doing. And, you know, for not being selfish with your network. You're putting it out there for everybody to experience.
We all got something to say, and we want to hear it. And I love all y'all.
Oh, we love you. Thanks so much, Jazz.
Thank you.
My goodness.